guys. So while I was down home on my Christmas break, spending time with the family, I was up talking to Dad in his shed one day. He spends a lot of time camping over at Blowering Dam, which is a pretty well-known cod fishery. He whips this out off the wall. Jackall Gigantarel, painted in brown dog. So it was sitting that side up in the sun. Hooks are all gone, just sitting up on the bank. Obviously the dam's a lot lower than it was when this got snagged up and lost, so I'm going to try and do a little bit of a restoration project on it, repaint it for myself. I'm not going to repaint it as a brown dog, I'll probably just go a bit rogue and do, I don't know, I'll do something. Alrighty, let's get into it. So I've gone inside and got some dishwashing liquid just to start and get some of the dirt off at least. God knows how long it was sitting out there in the sun, so I might even need to let it soak for a bit and then come back to it. Might actually try and knock those eyes out. Wonder how well they're glued in. That one's not in real well. It's interesting though. The backing come off that iron, that's very similar looking backing to what I use. Just a vinyl sticker. Very interesting. This step's just try to get the built up mud off it. Alrighty, gave him a quick rinse. I'm going to try isopropyl first. Then I might be going to terps and methyl and stuff afterwards. 100% ISO. If you want to find out whether you got cuts on your fingers, this is the stuff for it. It looks like it's not going to shift that dirt. Carby cleaner. Let's try a bit of that. Throttle body and carby cleaner. I'm starting to wonder whether that colour's on the inside. Alright, next I'm going to try terps. Terps good for like glue residues and stuff, so maybe. Only problem with terps, you got to put it on and let it sit for a second before it works. Let's just cover everything. Interestingly enough, it feels like it's dissolving the clear coat that's on this. Alright, it's actually getting some of the brown off the dog. Yeah, looks like the silver's coming off too. If that's the case, I'm going to go and get some paint stripper. Strip the whole thing back to clear. Alright, here we are guys. So I've done a fair bit of researching on what I should and shouldn't use. So I've got a 98% acetone, which apparently I shouldn't use. But that's going to be less detrimental than actual paint stripper. So I'm going to have some water handy over there. If I see it start to eat the plastic or something, I'll wash it off real quick, but I'm going to try that. And also, something I didn't realise, because I've never had one of these before, I just seen the shape and assumed it was a Gigantarel. 200mm, that's a Gigantarel. It's the big boy. No wonder it's so heavy. I think they're, what are they, 160 grams or something? So yeah, interesting, Gigantarel. What are they, like an $80 lure, $80 in Australia? So yeah, that'll be nice once I get him all painted up. Anyways, let's start seeing how this acetone works. I bought a couple of aids as well. Got the old Jiffy pad, or whatever you call those, Scotch Brights. Went to the cheap shop and bought a couple of these. So stainless wire, nylon, brass. They should help as well. So to start off with, we're just going to dump a bit of this on and see what happens. I reckon the best way to do it is, where's that spot that already started coming off? Go brass, eh? Yeah, right, that sort of does eat the plastic. That's interesting. He's got water in him. Gonna tidy up and go and get some dish soap. So that acetone pretty much removed the scale pattern, which I'm not overly fussed about, to be honest with you. I was curious how I was going to paint what I want to paint over it. I would have had scale pattern over a different scale pattern, so I'm sort of glad it got rid of it. You can really see how much water's into there now. It's a fair amount. Well, now though, let's keep cleaning. Didn't take as long as I thought it would. Like, obviously the finish on this now is quite rough after using that wire brush. The surface finish is nice and rough. That can only work in my favour, I would imagine. Make the paint stick. The next step I'm going to do, I've got some sodium bicarbonate left over from when I used to brew beer. So I'm going to make sure this guy sinks. I'm not too concerned about the water in his cavity just yet. I'll sort that out before I paint it. But I'm going to make sure this guy sinks and soak it in sodium bicarbonate. It should get rid of all this grime. I'm hoping. It may just be baked on there that hard though that it might not come off. Alright, so here he is. He is fully submerged. Just doesn't look like it from that angle. So fully submerged. And then I've got this stuff. 100% sodium bicarbonate. At 30 grams for 9 to 10 litres. I've only got, what, 2.5 litres in there. Let's go, what, 2.5 litres, maybe 10, 15 grams. About that much. So as you can see, that stuff's starting to work now. So what it does, it goes up anywhere where it finds something that it can grab onto, the oxygen molecules. They go under there and they get fizzy. So this guy may end up floating. It's the same active ingredient in like nappy sand or laundry soaks. There you go, what am I telling you? It tells you on the front here. High active oxygen, ideal for cleaning, strong stain removal, high kill rate on a wide range of microorganisms, food safe, environmentally safe, decomposes into oxygen, sodium carbonate and water. Leaves no scent or off flavours. I'm going to leave that till tomorrow, let it do its thing. You can already see a couple of bigger bits floating around. I don't know whether the camera will pick up on that. See that big bit? So it's knocked that off somewhere. So before I actually take it out of the water, I'm going to give it a shake. One thing it's done a bloody good job of is cleaning up all this hardware. Alright, so it's pretty much as clean as I'm going to get him. So now I'm going to drill 2 holes inside that joint to let all that water out. Then I'm going to seal it up. The amount of shit, extra shit in that water that came off just from the soak. Once these stupid scales work, I swear anytime you're not waiting for them, they work straight away. Yeah, 5.6 mil. I'm going to hang this guy up to dry out. I'll see you when she's dry. Alrighty guys, we're going to have to battle the construction noise. There's trucks galore this morning. This guy's been hanging up for about a week. Where did I drill those holes there? There's no water left in there. So I'm going to prep him up and start painting him. First things first, I've got to fill up these holes. I've got the UV torch and UV resin. I've got a small bit of wire I'm just putting a couple of bends into. Just make it a bit easier to get in there. So the aim is to get it inside the lure as well as outside. So it creates a bit of a plug both sides. Whoops. Just quick set this, then I'm going to go and hang it out in the sun. Probably give it a good half an hour or something. Alright, that should be set now. It's been hanging out there for ages. So while I was waiting for that to set, I tried doing the old, what are they called? Soldering iron on this new stencil material. Actually worked really well. Now I've got a tiny model dots and then big dots. It is a little bit like a cheese grater on this side, so I'll just have to make sure I always use that side up. But we'll be using that when we get to doing his gills and stuff. I'm going to tape up his fins, all bar the side fin. So I've got a bit of a plan in my head. So there's going to be white on the belly, up the black, silver scales, colour shift through it, silver gills, colour shift. So I'm going to make an undercoat of sorts, UVLS, about 50-50 with jet black paint. Yeah, I'm starting with black, wicked opaque jet black. Putting the UVLS in there to sort of promote adhesion. So for putting the base coat on, I'm going to use the old gun. So open her up and see how dirty it is. No, I've cleaned it. Alright, let's get the base on it. Need to figure out a way to hold him, eh? So after I spray a coat, I'm going to have to hang him upright or something. Alright, well that's his base coat. I'm going to clean this brush out and we'll get the good brush out. Alright, here we are. Got white in the brush, opaque white. I'm only going to paint his belly and come up the sides a little bit. I'm going to end up touching this bait everywhere, aren't I? Not too concerned about coverage down there yet, so I'll probably end up coming back across that later. So metal colour chrome, low pressure. This stuff sprays real good. That's 20 psi. Not only does it spray good, it covers good. Alright, let's see what we got. Not too bad. There's a smudge there, that'll be alright. I'll cover that back up with white later. So while I've still got the silver, alright, still on low pressure. I'm going to darken around his eye, make sure there's black sprays. I'm going to do his lip as well. Alright, so next up, it's one of my little stencils. Alright, so now what do you reckon? Spots all the way down his side. I'm doing it. Looks pretty cool. I'll put the the white back in the brush, and I'm going to come along, clean up all that underside, and then I might put a little bit of pattern into that too. So we're still on low pressure, like what did I say we were, 20 psi I think. So plan is here, just put a couple of smaller scales on his underside. Oh, it's just metallic white. Thinking about just a tiny little bit of yellow drifting up to red at the throat area. One drop of yellow into the white, because I don't want it super bright or noticeable. So I'm thinking I might go this one. Blue aqua green. I'm pretty much just going to keep it up on the shoulders, because I'm going to come back when I do the fins. I'm going to put a bit of candy black down his forehead. Do the fins candy black. I'll put a little bit of that on his face too. Just going to run my air at 15 psi. Just going to take that in the sun real quick, see if I can see it. Can't see it, going heavier. You can see that now. Bit of a greeny tinge about it. I might slap a bit of purple down his lateral line. So the purple is that one, Abyss, same one I always use. Alright, this is the scariest part of the whole paint job. Red. So I made a fairly watery mix of scarlet red. Clean this brush out, get candy black in it, and then we're done. That's it, I'm calling it before I go too far. So the problem I've got right now, the only two eyes I've got that are the right size, I can't put glass eyes in this, they're too shallow. So I've got a silver and I've got a gold. I've only got those two options that fit. I'm thinking the yellows might not be the right decision and you might be yelling at me, but comment below, what would you use, gold or silver? I wish I sold these things in left and rights too. That'd be nice. That's usually the finishing touch on a lure, isn't it? Putting the eye in. It made it look pretty badass. Probably won't bring you along for the clear coating. Oh, actually, so I especially went out and bought some 2K. So not only for this bait, for my other jointed baits as well. Anyways, I won't bring you along for that. I'll just show you once she's done. Hey guys, you're not going to believe it. I was just putting the third coat of the clear coat on. Storm come across, so I sort of went to grab the lure real quick and move him inside. Have a look at this. I dropped it in the dirt. That was the final coat. Even got some up here on his tail. Yeah, I'm not impressed. Bloody storm. I doubt I'm going to be able to save that. That's what I'm using. Concept Paints MS100 2K. Check this out, guys. My wife literally sat down with a pair of tweezers and picked all the sand and grass and everything out of it. Alrighty guys, it's going to wrap this one up, eh? glad we could get the dirt out of that. I re-clear coated them. First time I've ever used that 2K. Had to go out and buy a respirator and everything for it. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with that. Ended up having to do about 5 coats on him after we actually pulled the dirt out. Got all the grass and whatnot out of him. Yeah, come out pretty good. Can't wait to get some hooks on him and take him fishing. You watch, I'll probably lose it on the first cast. I'm going to put up a little clip of this thing spinning around, and that's going to do us. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Catches.